Makeup and story time. I have a couple of funny stories to tell you guys while I get ready to go to work. And this is just going to be a very simple makeup look today. But what I want to do is I want to mix the San Miccilo foundation with the Miccilo primer. Because part of the problem with the Miccilo foundation, which I can work fast, so it's not a problem for me, but I would imagine it would be a problem for other people, is that this foundation dries so quickly. And I thought that if I mix the primer into this foundation, we'll mix it on a palette, then we'll see how it goes on with the Miccilo brush. So that's what we're going to do today. The first story that I wanted to tell you is from when my husband and I were dating. My younger sister took the kids for me, and we decided that we were going to take a trip up to the White Mountains. She packed us a little basket with some cheese and crackers and a bottle of wine, and we took that with us, and all we did was talk all the way up and all the way back and during, because we had just met and both of us were grieving. We were grieving our older relationships, and so basically, that's what we were talking about. Just different things pertaining to that, pertaining to ourselves. And I had brought, some candies, like, those, they're like little juicy candies that are hard, and they have the twisty paper, and I had gum, and I had all kinds of things in my pocketbook. So we were driving home, and we had the windows open. Back then, his vehicle did not have air conditioning. Oh, it's so funny when I think about the old days. And we had the windows open, and there was a loose piece of candy wrapper that he had put down in the console between the two seats. And so he's talking, and the wind came into the car. And just as he was pursing his lips to say something like that, synchronicity. It was the perfect timing. The paper the wrapper had started to swirl around inside the car. But both of us, we weren't aware of this, that it was swirling around, because we were enthralled in each other's conversation. And the wrapper just kind of came up, looped around twice, and blew in and stuck to his lips. Honest to God, I started laughing so hard. I don't think that I've ever really laughed that hard in my life. And that includes since then. I just mixed the primer and the foundation. I'm going to use my finger to mix it. It's a very stiff foundation because it is full coverage. So, and the primer is also stiff, so I'm mixing those two together. Anyhow, and he giggled. He didn't think it was that hilarious. But I couldn't catch my breath. I was laughing so hard. And then as I laughed, then he started laughing. And the both of us were bellyache laughing. And he was driving. I think that we both laughed for about 10 minutes straight. And I how you laugh and then you go, And then you think about it again and you're laughing again. Well, that kept happening over and over. And it's one of those memories that is embedded into my brain, and I can't get rid of it. To this day, I don't laugh when I think about it, but I have this really sweet memory of it, because both of us were hurting so badly, and we really needed to laugh. We really needed to unload some of that heavy, dense, negative energy, and that's what we did. The day was a lot of fun. We did a lot of healing, because when you're with somebody and they understand you and you understand them, even though circumstances might be different. I'm not going to edit this video, because if I make a blooper, I make a blooper. It's real life. You guys need to see real life every now and then on YouTube. Kind of sick of the fake, but I do edit because my videos would be 2 hours long. So anyhow, that was such a great day, and it was a painful day, because we were dredging up all of this stuff. And when you dredge up old stuff, you also dredge up stuff about yourself. So it was a very healing day, but it was a very good day, and it turned out towards the end to be a really, really exceptional day, ending in that extreme laughter. When you laugh until you cry and you can't catch your breath. It just struck me funny. I mean, woo, woo, woo. And just as he was about to say something, his lips, were pursed. The paper just went doop right on his lips. And he didn't know what happened to her. He didn't know. He was like, it caught him off guard. And he was like, what is that, Is it a bug? And here I am looking at him sideways, and I can see the paper sticking right here. It was hilarious. That's the first story that I wanted to tell you. And I have another story that I want to tell you too. And that was after we got married, when we went on a vacation with the kids up into the White Mountains. So stick around for that one. Anyhow, just wanted to let you guys know, the Miccilo brush, the foundation, and the Miccilo primer, all three are from Miccilo. Wow, this brush makes a huge difference in putting this foundation on the skin. It's a very, very stiff foundation, but as you can see, it is full coverage. And I'm just going to add a little bit more where my spots are, but putting the primer in this foundation gives it the spreadability that it needs. Now, I don't know if they say this on the website. I just decided to use my intuition. I've been wanting to do this, and one of you guys mentioned that the foundation it dries really quickly. And I told her that I was going to create a video. I'm adding a second layer just because when it comes to foundation, that's what I like to do. I like to do it. It's foundation. I want to cover my skin. I want to cover my imperfections. If I want to look like I don't have any makeup on, I'm not going to wear foundation. That's my take on that, you guys. I'm going to go over my eyes a little bit because I'm not going to put eye primer on today. All right, let's set that aside. And I'm going to break out my Incognito. This is really light. but I don't want to put a lot of it on. You guys pray for me. Send me well wishes, good vibes. I want to do YouTube full time, and I've mentioned this. This is a dream for me. Maybe it's a dream for other people too, but you know, I added up how many years I've been working. I have never worked a full 40, 45 hour a week job except for in between my college years. I've always had to have a job where I wanted to be home with my kids. That's how I entered the self-employment field. And when I was a teacher, even that job was part-time while I was there, but that doesn't include the prepping, that doesn't include coming up with the ideas, that doesn't include grading, you know, musical set design, that doesn't include all that. So I still consider that a full-time job, even though for 2 of those years I worked 4 days a week, 8 hours a day. So then I got a job doing what I do now. And if you clean houses, it's impossible without a crew to clean more than 8 hours a day. It's almost impossible to clean 8 hours a day, although I have done it. The optimum is 6 hours a day, and that doesn't include commuting. So for the past almost 20 years, that's what I've been doing. So I do consider that full-time. I added up the other day all the hours that I've worked, what I consider, you know, I consolidated too. So times that I worked part-time jobs, things like that, I consolidated to a total of 34 years. What am I getting at? I can't even remember I can't even remember why I started talking about this. I'm fried. I'm totally fried. And I turned 64. I'm going to be 68 in 4 years. And friends, it's my goal to be a full-time content creator. I've got ideas. I have got so many ideas. I have a book downstairs, and every time I get an idea, I jot my idea in the book. And a lot of people have not done any of these ideas. Right now, this is what I can handle. This is what I can do, even when I have a day off, because some of the ideas that I have would take 2 days. So I don't even want to tell you what those ideas are, because I don't want to get it out there. The universe knows. It's up here and it's in my vortex. Just say a prayer for me, because that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. If I can retire at 65, 66, that would be the best. That would be the best. And do this full time. So I won't even really be retiring, but I will be doing 111% what I love. I'm just going to put a little bit of bronzer right here. And I'm going to use the Believe Beauty bronzer because it's like a tried and true for me. It's one of my, what do you call it? Like the goat of my bronzers. I mean, I have a couple, but this one is a really nice bronzer, and it's a neutral for me. So I'm just going to use this just to do a little bit of sculpting right here, not contouring. I mean, I feel you can contour with bronzer. But do you see how it's a neutral color? And I am going to swirl this because it is powder. See how it's neutral? I'm going to fix this, so don't freak out. Don't freak out on me. Don't freak out on me. this lady, she doesn't know what she's doing. Get her off of YouTube. Nah. Are you kidding me? You mean to tell me that there aren't women my age that want to put on some makeup and look their best? You bet there is. And there's even young people. There is young people that love to be around older people for their wisdom, because older people reach a certain age and they're like, screw it, I'm just gonna have fun. I'm just gonna have fun. Oh, I'm just gonna have fun. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Cyndi Lauper. We loved you, Cindy, for that song. All right, see how I blended that in? And I used my Miccilo brush. Such a nice brush. Let's put on a little bit of the blush that I put on in the video yesterday, except for today, I'm putting more on. I watched my video. And by the way, YouTube, I've been researching you, and I really like you, and you've been really good to me. However, what's up with the fact that you don't want us content creators to rewatch our own videos? I have to do that. I create the video, I edit it, and it's on a little tiny device this big. I upload it and watch it on my computer, and I watch it again when it processes to HD, so that's 2 watch time hours or whatever. I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't let my videos just keep playing and playing and playing. All right? But I don't see anything wrong with that. And as content creators, we should not be penalized for that. Period. And the other thing, look at this. And the other thing, YouTube, that I have a problem with. And I have read it until I am blue in the face. Blue moon. That might be why I have all this energy. Blue moon in the face. Developing your niche for the algorithms. Bah humbug. Bah humbug. That's what I say. If somebody is fun to watch and they've got a lot to say and they are talented at more than one thing, why in the hell do they have to develop a niche and do the same thing day in and day out? Boring. That's what I say. Boring. You want to know why it's boring? Because you also say, I can't remember the name of that we nicknamed this hotel, but it was a dive and a half. And I remember my son, I'm embarrassed to say this, but it was such a dive. My son wet his pamper. I think he was probably 2. And it leaked through onto the cot, and I was like, I'm not even going to tell them. I'm just going to fold it up. I mean, I washed it as best I could, and I just folded it up because it was so bad that there's no way I would stay in a place like that. But here we were with all the kids, and it was getting late, and there were no vacancies anywhere. So, yeah, it was... It was crazy. It was so crazy. And for years afterwards, we would say, remember such and such, hotel? Oh, God. It was just nuts. If I remember it, I'll ask my husband. If I remember it, I'll put it in. I mean, those are the experiences that make memories. It reminds me of like Chevy Chase's Christmas Vacation, or Chevy Chase's, Goes to Paris. Is that one? Chevy Chase Goes to Paris or whatever. Wally World. That's what it reminded me of. I mean, it was like everything that we turned over, there was something, I was like, if I pull out the drawers of the bureau, am I going to find a Gideon's Bible, or am I going to find stale food with maggots all over it? It was so bad. But the memory of it has stood the test of time. Okay, I'm going to take this neutral shimmer right here, and I'm just going to pop that on my eyelid. Now, I can do this whole makeup look in about 15 minutes. If I want to get really picky, I can do it in about 15 minutes. I'm just going to kind of feather that out a little bit. Sometimes I do this, sometimes I don't. And I will be back with, I'm going to tight line, I'm going to put on just mascara, and I'm going to head out the door. So I'll be back. Okay, my friends, I am done and ready to head out the door. I ended up using the Telescopic Lift Mascara. I think this does make your eyelashes look longer than the regular L'Oreal Telescopic, but they're both really good. So, don't go out and run and get this one if you don't have the other one. And I know this is probably passe, but when something goes viral, it gets notoriety and all the. And then what I did was I tight lined with a chocolate brown. I used my Sehora eyeliner, and then I used my green Believe Beauty on my bottom, not the waterline. It doesn't stay on my waterline, so I go as close to my eyelashes as I possibly can. My friends, be well, be blessed, be beautiful, because you are. It's the full moon today. Get your intentions ready. Stand outside with your arms outstretched. Release all that doesn't serve you anymore. And I didn't say people, although it could be that. But things that don't serve you anymore. Create new habits. Create new traditions. Create new ways of doing things for yourself to make your life better. That's basically what it means. And form your intentions and blow them up to the universe. The angels will swoop down and they will catch them and bring them to God as our messengers bringing our intentions to God, and let it go. Okay, my friends, until next time, I love you.